Armenia has long prided itself on being the world's first Christian nation. Lately, a prominent media influencer has been accusing the government of cracking down on Christianity. A group of Americans recently traveled to Armenia for the country's first national prayer breakfast. As Chuck Holton reports, they found a very different story.
Armenia's inaugural national prayer breakfast brought together government and faith leaders to focus on the future of this fragile nation. Despite loud claims that Christianity is under attack here, churches are open, worship is free, and spiritual leaders are seated alongside top officials. But that's not the message Americans are hearing from pundits like Tucker Carlson.
This prime minister, who's clearly authoritarian, by definition, is against the church. So the idea is to break the back of Orthodox Christianity of traditional Christianity in Armenia, and to use the police to do it.
Armenian experts say Carlson's assertion leaves out critical context. They dispute his accusation that recent arrests of 2 clergymen had anything to do with practicing their faith.
2 of them especially have been engaged in political activism, let me put it that way. One of them has urged the military to stage a coup. The other one has organized an opposition movement. Armenia's attempt to somehow become more sovereign, to pursue its own diplomacy, somehow made Russia to engage more actively into the external affairs of Armenia.
These political clashes come as Armenia tries to break free from decades of Russian influence. Some American Christian leaders who met with Armenia's prime minister say the war on Christianity claims by Tucker Carlson and others are not just wrong, they serve Russia's interests.
When I was invited to come, I got articles from friends saying, hey, were you not aware this prime minister in Armenia is at war with Christianity? And I was looking into it, and then I learned from people I trusted he was not at war with Christianity. So I came on, and having spent a couple of days with him and visited with him privately, personally, this is not a man who is at war with Christianity. This is a man who is wanting to do what he is supposed to in accordance with Christian principles and following biblical principles. And I am so impressed with him. But when you try to do what he's doing, this is the kind of attacks you come under, and sometimes it comes from religious people.
While the political rhetoric grabs international headlines, many here see Armenia's most dangerous threat coming from its own demographic collapse. Armenia faces pressures on multiple fronts. The threats from Azerbaijan and Turkey are very real, but the bigger danger might actually be inside the country. Armenia's birth rate has collapsed, and if nothing changes, this nation could easily lose a share of its population over the next century and almost cease to exist. Many leaders here are saying that they're pointing directly to abortion and the declining family formation as major factors in this demographic decline. And in their view, this crisis is a bigger long-term threat than anything that's happening across the border.
Unfortunately, abortion in Armenia is one of those subjects that has not been publicly spoken about until this inaugural prayer breakfast. From 1955 until 2024, 1,800,000 abortions have taken place in that time. I mean, they've murdered their own more than the Turks and the Azeris, and it is a greater threat.
With enemies on its borders and disinformation targeting its unity, Armenia's greatest challenge may be rebuilding a culture of life and family. Leaders here say that without it, the world's first Christian nation could face a future far more dangerous than any military threat. From Armenia, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
Thank you, Chuck. You know, ladies and gentlemen, on this program, we talk about where Christianity is under attack. Just yesterday, we talked about China and the crackdown there. So we want to let you know if there's misinformation. Like in this case, Armenia, worship is free. Churches are gathering. The gospel is free.
It really is. Orphans Promises some of its best work in Armenia. We have wonderful centers there. I mean, I on my visit, just really wound up moved to tears by teenage kids who were reciting well-known scripture verses in English to us and who were very active in their churches. The pastors are awesome. Armenia is a great nation with a wonderful history. So great we have work there.
Yeah, and you heard it. The Prime Minister is, quote, following biblical principles. So you can see what's really going on there.
Wonderful history.